So just arrived at RH Fisheries Monument Complex. Today we'll be fishing on Monument 2, swim 10. Hopefully we'll get lucky. Right, so we've just got to the swim, set all the bits up, the bivvy and the bed and whatnot. So we've been in the swim about 10 minutes, seen a couple of fish show. The wind's blowing into us, so that is a plus point, especially on a day ticket water as we are. I'm quite hopeful that we'll have a few this session. So hopefully very soon you'll see one on the bank. It's been pretty pointless this one, mate, because it's not even opened. Get a bit of bait out. I'm in no rush to get the rods out at the minute, but not going to do us any harm getting a bit of bait in. There's nobody on any of the swims put any bait out yet, so the plan is to get a little bit out and leave it for a while. Like I say, I'm in no rush to get the rods out whatsoever. But on a busy day ticket like this, I always think you can get a bit of bait out and then leave it. It pays dividends, so that's where we're up to at the moment. I'm using RH baits Simply Red for this session. I'm actually crumbing these whole baits, putting the matching glug on and just fishing a smaller wafter over the top on one of my noodle rigs. I've used this bait now for, I don't know, quite a while, and I've had some absolutely fantastic hits on it. I've had multiple 40s. I have not got a clue how many 30s I've had on it. From wherever I've fished or wherever I've taken it, I've done really well. I had a 40 last time out on the sitch, which you'll have seen the last videos. Basically, Rob started feeding this bait into his waters solely. So when you come to any of Rob's waters now, it's simply Red or nothing for me, really. So Rob feeds this into his waters, so likes of the Avenue, there's absolutely stacks of big fish in there now, and since he's been feeding just RH baits into there each week or whenever he decides to feed the fish, the growth rates have been absolutely outrageous. I mean, some of the tales he's told me about the amount of weight that the big fish have put on, it's just crazy. They're growing like the small fish. It's just outrageous. The quality of the bait, I could not be happier. All the wafters are absolutely perfect and they smell brilliant. I've used, over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, I must have used 6 different bait companies, all being at the top of the game, and I can honestly say none of them are anything like the quality of RH baits. It gives me the utmost confidence. I mean, today it's warm, the pressure's really high, it's quite muggy. The fish are not playing ball at the moment, but I have every faith that even when they do decide to feed, this is exactly what they'll be having, and hopefully soon I'll have one on the bank for you. Following on from my noodle rig video, now I'm going to show you how I tie it. So the components used are PB Products £20 Ghost Butterfly fluorocarbon and PB Products £25 armour braid. So I take a length of the armour braid and I double it up so it's one continuous loop. I do the same with the Ghost Butterfly. This is just one, obviously, loop. Put a loop in the end. And then I get the braided loop and pass it through the loop I've just created in the fluorocarbon. You want roughly about an inch, just over an inch showing. And I tie these together with an Albright knot. So I'll start the Albright knot now. So I've whipped up and back down the knot. I'm now going to pass the tag ends back through the fluorocarbon loop. So that's all through there now. I'm now going to wet the knot and pull it down. Some people like to trim the tag ends quite tight, but I like to leave a bit of a tag. It's going to get covered up with putty anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So that is basically the rig, or the material for the rig. So then I've got myself a size 4 jungle. That'd be nice. And I'll pass the loop through the front of the eye. Get my bait ring swivel. Pass that onto the loop. Which is easier said than done. Then thread the loop over the point of the hook, which creates your slip D. You then want to get yourself some shrink tube. Measure it, so I literally just put it so it's just over the eye of the hook, so the D can slip pretty much the full length of the shank. And you just want to leave a little gap for a bit of play in your braid. Thread the shrink onto the rig. So I don't know if you can see, but the shrink is literally just over the eye of the hook, and you've got obviously this bit of your play. I then finished the rig off with just a straightforward figure of 8 overhand loop knot. And there is the finished rig now, ready for steaming. So I'm going to steam the rig now, shrink the tube down, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. As you can see in between my finger and thumb, I'm kinking the end of it. I like to hold that till I feel the shrink has set, so it's cooled down. You need quite an aggressive kick in the end of it. Like that. That's the rig done now. Just need to put some putty over the knot and it's good to go. So it's 7:15 in the evening now. The sun's still high in the sky. Temperature's dropped a little bit though. The fish have been on the surface all day since probably 8:30 this morning. We haven't seen any for the last half an hour, which is a good sign. Bit of luck, they're dropping down in the layers now. Temperature's been about 20 to 21 degrees during the day today. No cloud cover whatsoever. And this evening it's dropping down to 8 or 9 degrees, which is good for a night bite. So I'm half expecting a take sort of leading up to midnight. If not, I'm really hopeful we'll get one for the morning. I've tried all sorts of different things today. Different rigs, different hook baits. I mean, I do tend to stick to what I know works on here, but times like this, when they're not really having it, you've got to at least try something. It's been absolutely perfect for zigs all day today, but unfortunately, zigs are banned on the Monument Complex. There's been fish on the surface all afternoon, but schoolboy error, I didn't pack any floater gear. So at least we know for next time. So hopefully the next time you speak to us, we'll have one on the bank. It's 10 o'clock and the rod has absolutely just melted. It's not been the best of conditions all day. It's been really hot, really sunny. As soon as the sun's gone in, the temperature's dropped. As predicted, it's peeled off. Pays to stick to your guns. Hopefully we get this in and it's an absolute chunk. Does feel quite decent to be fair. But for the first fish, I'm not really too fussed. It's just nice to get a take. Certainly hope it's as big as it feels. It feels massive. There's turtle lines on it. So I've been pulling my arm off now for a good 5 minutes. Sort of under the tip now, a couple of rod lengths out. Bit of a crazy fight so far, to be honest. Had me all over the lake. It does feel like a good fish, feels quite heavy under the tip. I haven't seen it yet. That might all change when we see it, but this stage of the game, they all count. We'll definitely take it, won't we? Pinged off his dorsal line. Big boil. Keep it under.
Yes. Well done, Mr. Holland. That is how we roll. Wow.
Result. So the weather hasn't been so good today for us. It's been really tough going. Fish have been cruising around on the top all day. As soon as the sun's got in, the temperature's dropped probably 6 or 7 degrees. It's rattled off. I've tried this over on a Simply Red wafter, over crushed and whole Simply Red with the matching glug. Not a lot of bait, probably had it over half a kilo with that. So we'll just get her up now, and if you look at her, she's an absolute peach. I've not weighed it yet, probably low to mid 30 I would have thought. Really happy with that after the day we've had so far. So I'll get her weighed, treated, put her back and get the rod back out, and hopefully we'll have another one for you soon. Hey lad. Hey. It's just holding out there. I've probably got it back now to where I was fishing distance wise. Can't physically do anything with it. Just feels like a real big heavy weight. So hopefully in the next 10 minutes we'll have another good one in the net for you. Yeah. got the fish back now to about 30 yard out, and this is just what it keeps doing. It's not happy at all. Yet to see the fish, it's not even boiled, it's just holding bottom, feeling extremely heavy. I hope I'm not wrong, because if it's as heavy as it feels, it's going to be absolutely massive. $40 would be nice, wouldn't it? So, this was the left rod. It was the right rod that we had the first fish on at 12 o'clock last night, 10 o'clock, whatever time it was. I've had this one on a little yellow wafter on a straight fluorocarbon D-rig. Basically fishing a rod length to the left of the other rod. So both rods really tight on one spot, which is what I tend to do on here. Doesn't look as big now, does it? It's a 30 though, isn't it? I would have thought. Oh, very close to it. So here's the second fish of the session. Another 30. It's quite apparent now that the fish are having a bit of a feed out there, so I need to get some more crumb and whole baits out. I've probably used 3/4 of a kilo now for 230s, which isn't bad going. Normally when I come here I would absolutely fill it in with boilie, but they haven't really been having it, and I think this is one of only 2 fish out this session so far. So we'll get it weighed, get it back, and get the rod back on the spot. Get this rod back out on the spot now, get some bait over it. Perfect. Just an update on the session so far. 10 o'clock last night we had the first take, resulting in a nice 37.6 mirror. Put a couple of spoms of bait out, got the rod back out on the spot, and then 6 o'clock this morning, or 5 o'clock, one of the two, the other rod rattled off, which was about 3 foot, 4 foot from the left rod. It was a 34.8 mirror. It's since gone really hot. All the fish are cruising all over the top. It's been good, but it's looking like it's coming to an end now. I'm pretty sure there'll be nothing on the bottom. I'm pretty sure there's no chance of another fish now. So I'm going to have a slow pack down, and hopefully one might rattle off just before we go. So the proof was in the pudding. The tactics that I chose for this particular session, with the weather, the conditions in mind, everything's worked as I wanted to. I have the utmost faith and confidence in all the components I've used this session from PB Products. If you'd like to give them a try, I encourage you to do so. Find them in your local stockists. Obviously a full list of product range will be able to be found online. I'd just like to say thanks to Rob Hales and his team at RH Fisheries Monument Complex for letting us do the filming for you guys today. I really appreciate it, and no doubt I'll see you all again soon.